Hello and welcome to a special Blue Monday podcast, a reaction video to the new kit unveiling video. And joining me, I've got two experts when it comes to Ipswich Town kits. The owner of Mark Fish's QPR away shirt, Joe Fairs, and a man we can see behind him who frames shirts. So we've got exactly the right people for it. The TXU shirt though, Craig Fimbo, we're going to have to ask you firstly, Craig, why you felt so compelled to frame one of the worst shirts in our history. Not in terms of aesthetic, but more the fact
Colour.
it was relegation administration and the colour. Yeah, I mean it's up there.
Yeah, it was.
Hello, by the way. You're right.
Yeah, hello. So I start
Slagging you
off my internal furniture. Yeah, soft furnishing. There's a bit of a story behind it. Way back when, crikey, nearly 20 years ago, I used to work nights, and it was like the start of the internet and eBay and things like that. And there was a signed Alan Brazil shirt, which has got Alan Brazil's signature right in the middle of it. So I bid for it and won it. I'm surprised it wasn't an awful lot of money. And then I spent the next, 10 years sending it off, basically wrapping it up, packaging it and sending it off. So I sent it to Motherwell for George Burley to sign. I sent it to Newcastle for Sir Bobby to sign.
Oh wow!
I basically had to send it off and package it with a special delivery envelope for them to send back to me, sort of thing, each time. I went and sat with Steve McCall at Portman Road when he was scout for about half an hour while he chatted to me and signed it for me, and took it to Portman Road whenever the legends were back and doing their bits and pieces and stuff like that. So it's basically got the 81 squad signatures on it now.
Brilliant. Oh, there you go.
You could have just bought an 81 shirt to do this with rather than the Alan Brazil.
Could have done. Yeah.
Nice framing though. Is that a DIY job? Because I know Joe's getting into doing that now.
Yeah. I think me and Joe use the same DIY frame from Amazon. Yeah, it's quite simple to do once you've worked out how to do it. So it's like a little box frame, and you sort of stick it on a bit of cardboard and tie it in, and then you stick it into a frame itself, sort of thing.
Nice. Well, this is a pod for the kit nerds. Joe, any additions to the collection of late?
I picked up a Matteo Serini goalkeeper shirt.
The elbows on that are just crazy.
I reckon the arm pads are probably a foot by 6 inches size of that. You put it on and it's like having an A4 sheet of paper stuck inside, or an A4 bit of card stuck on each elbow. So I don't know why he wasn't happy to dive around that goal mouth against Charlton on that frozen goal mouth with those pads there. He should have been fine.
Should be bouncing off the pitch. And it feels like, guys, we need to do like a how-to football shirt framing guide. I think this is, well, if you want to see that, then at Joe Fairs, at Fim75, is it? Give us a request and we'll do that. You know, the niche stuff is the stuff that goes down the best, guys. Let's jump into it, shall we? So we got a little bit of a hint as to what was to happen with some Instagrams and We Are Town hashtags early doors. And then a nice 2.5 minute video. You don't have to give me your thoughts on the video if you don't want to. We've got a question on the names that get mentioned in it, so maybe hold that thought.
I must say, I thought that's how you could introduce it. It was going to be We Are Woodward, Fairs and Finbo.
No, yes, and I'll start listing the Benjamin Bloom, David Diamond, and then there's Joe Fairs, Craig. You got to have the kind of disparity of the names.
Yeah.
What were your immediate thoughts, Joe, on as presumably like me and presumably like Craig, a new kit launch is something that gives a little bit of an excitement, particularly given we've got no proper football to talk about?
Yeah, no, I do enjoy seeing what the new kit is. It's sort of up there with Squad Numbers Day as one of the most exciting days of the off season. But no, the video, I quite like the video. I think the commentary was a little bit over the top, and it's almost, I know it shouldn't, but it almost sounds a bit of a piss take when you like Mariner, Jackson, Brazil. It's like, it's almost like somebody's laughing at the current squad by trying to include them with those. But they've got to try and do something. They've got to try and link the old and the new. So I'm not going to criticise too heavily. But no, first impression on the shirts, I do like the shirt. I like that it's a proper blue. I'm surprised they've gone back to the yellow badge, but I quite like it. I think it always looks better, the yellow badge, I think.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say We Are Town in a Welsh accent, by the way, every time there's a little pause in conversation, just to make you feel familiar with that video. Craig, as not wishing to draw attention to it, but someone who grew up knowing the yellow badge more synonymous than we did, maybe.
You
Jonah?
start.
Sorry, I know you got enough on.
I have enough of Mikey. Yeah.
Too many on Mikey Penny Smith, but were you pleased to see the yellow badge?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, I'm a bit of a sucker for those videos as well. Those like little snippets and stuff give you a little bit of goosebumps, don't they? You know, as Joe said, the names are, got a bit of discussion to be had, I'd imagine, with Kane Vincent Young sandwiched between two Dutchmen. But yeah, so I'm a bit of a sucker for those retro videos. And to be fair, we're one of a few teams that can use retro videos to highlight bits and pieces, aren't they? And not every club can do it. Yellow badge was the main thing for me. That's as soon as I saw it, that's what I sent out on the group chat. Yellow badge is back, and the stars aren't. The stars are gone, haven't they?
Yeah. Do you thought they would have tried to find a way to include them somewhere else? Maybe on the sleeve. We've had a few shirts where they've done that, or is this because there's writing underneath the badge, isn't it? UEFA Cup 40 years. Again, we've got questions on those specific words, but Joe, do you feel like this is making a specific statement about that one particular moment in history, and therefore the stars aren't really needed?
Yeah, I don't think the stars are needed, but at some point the stars were going to need to go because the club's ambition is to get into the Premier League, and I don't think you are allowed to have stars in the Premier League apart from European Cups. I think there's actual rules in there. So if we were to go up to the Premier League, we'd have had to lose the stars at some point. So I'm not.
So they're going to be there for the foreseeable future then, yeah?
I quite like having them, but I think we're probably at the stage where our badge does need a rebrand, as it is anyway. Like the red badge is 25 years old. I know people are traditionalists, but how long was the other badge for? The yellow badge, probably about 25 years as well, wasn't it? That came in during the Robson era. Teams change their badge quite often. Well, maybe we need a badge and we need to sort of incorporate the stars inside the badge somehow going forwards.
Yeah. The other thing that I wanted to pick out as well, Craig, was the colour of the blue. Is it a slightly lighter shade? We're getting into proper nerdy stuff now, aren't we? But it doesn't feel as I've got the current one here. We'll stick pictures up on the video, but I think the blue is a bit lighter on the new one, isn't it?
It does look. Well, yeah, we can't really tell until you see it in the flesh, can you? But it does look to be a slightly different shade. But I think going back to it, I think it's pretty much as close as you're going to get to replicate the kit that they're looking to replicate in a modern era style, if you want. I think one thing I would have liked to have seen, and I think it was something that the Kings of Anglia guys raised, was if they could have just put the Adidas Originals logo, is it a trefoil or
trefoil?
Yeah, if that could have been on there, then I think that would have really.
I don't think Adidas allow that because that's not part of their football range. So
no, that's like an Originals thing, isn't it? Rather than that, but if we really are picking at it.
But the blue does seem the same blue as the copper. There's a copper 8081 shirt in the club shop, and when you see that, that's a real striking blue. And this one looks more that blue, where the current one is almost three different blues from the back to the two different shades on the front, isn't it as well?
So do you think the yellow badge and the kind of lighter royal blue shade is here to stay after this season to come, or is it just a one-off?
I think it's going to be a one-off. I think they'll go back to the other badge next season,
or a new badge altogether. Yeah. I don't see that you're going to go back to the old badge, but that blue and the yellow, that does have a real striking colour of it, doesn't it?
Yeah, one of our subscribers, Holler Jason, he's been banging the drum for the yellow badge for about 2 years, and I've been telling him it's not going to happen. So I think I owe him a pint. So hello to you, Jason. Thoughts on the sponsors gone? Magical Vegas, we kind of knew a few weeks ago they announced that they were going to make way for the Carers Trust. I've got a question on punctuation on that sponsor, so don't mention that just yet. The NHS thing last year, let me again get last year's kit. You could kind of pay extra to have the East Anglian air ambulance thing. You can now pay extra for the NHS, the thank you the NHS, which is very pertinent obviously at the moment. Thoughts on that?
I wonder what will happen to the kids shirts, because you weren't allowed Magical Vegas on the kids shirt, so they would put on the East Anglian Air Ambulance one, but I assume the Carers Trust can get onto the kids shirts now because it isn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the mini kits you can see on the shop have got the Carers Trust sponsor.
Just talking about the back of the shirts, actually, is one of the things I would have liked, as well as the trefoil on the front is, and I know I think it's a league-wide font, isn't it, for the numbers and the names on the back? But if they could have had the three stripes numbers on the
Oh,
back.
yeah,
That'd have been nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. The other thing that I noticed on the video, which is difficult to pick out on the ITFC shop images, is there's a Robson quote in the back of the neck.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what that is. I know it's the last beat. It's the Jigsaw quote from, I think it's in the 81, the Boys of 81 video, isn't it? I think.
The perfect jigsaw, isn't it?
That's it, yeah, from it, or his interview with 442, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that's a good touch as well.
Yeah, nice little touches. Yeah.
And finally, on before we get into kind of, I want to talk about the away kit and speculation on that, which is expected next week. Blue shorts as well is always a bit of a contentious one. Was it the 15-16 kit, or 16-17 kit had blue shorts, didn't it? And there was a little bit of an uproar. The blue shorts this time around, Craig, are because we wore those in the final in the UEFA Cup, didn't we?
Second leg we did,
and it appears to be that is the way we're going for the whole season.
Yeah.
Because white shorts haven't shown up on the pre-sale images.
No. I think we wore blue in the second leg and white in the first leg. But what you notice, if you read the bump on the club website that came along with the release, it actually says there's the seasonal change to blue shorts. So whether that means that next season it'll be white and the following season will be blue and the next season will be white, I don't know.
But the last two have been white though.
Yeah.
Because, like I say, I prefer white shorts. I think Ipswich is blue shirts,
Yeah.
white shorts. Personally, I think Chelsea is blue shorts. I always see it and think it looks like Chelsea. Personally, the only thing good in the practicality thing is I get my two little boys these kits, and the blue shorts are better than the white shorts because they don't get covered in rubbish and
Food.
never get worn. So,
I've actually got the
Nice.
81 program, and Mick Mills is wearing blue shorts. So they did wear them at some
Are they a
point.
slightly
during that.
different shade of blue?
They are, yeah.
Oh, they
Yeah,
should be
they are.
making it accurate then. They
but
should be.
shell suit, aren't they?
Yeah, they're the shiny ones.
Don't walk near a naked flame if you're wearing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't have a size too large. that
Probably
will
got
shape.
asbestos in them as well now in the 80s. But guys, do you want to give it a score out of 10? Your kind of immediate reaction to not being able to see it in the flesh, obviously, but from what we've seen, Joe, happy?
I'd say 8 out of 10.
Adding to the collection, presumably.
Well, I'd sort of have to, really.
Got to, haven't you? Yeah, Craig.
Yeah,
Is it
I'll
one
give
for
it
the
a solid-
walls?
It depends if I can get Tommy Parkin's signature up in time. I think a solid 8, and I prefer simple shirts, to be honest. Nothing fancy or patterns or hidden patterns along the strips and bits like that. So yeah, if it's nice and simple, I say it's as close as you're going to get to the UEFA shirt with the white collar and the white cuffs around the sleeves and stuff.
Yeah, we haven't seen a long sleeve version of it yet, but
I'd be
That'd be
far more
interesting.
likely to get sleeve than
because
a
Butcher's
ter-
wearing, I was going to
shirt.
say he's wearing long sleeve on the programme. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Right.
And just before we get on to the questions and listeners' views and stuff, the away kit, I think for that season alternated between a red and a white one, didn't it? Has anyone got any confirmation on that and speculation on what it might be?
I think predominantly sorry, Joe. I think predominantly they wore white, but as David said, I think they wore red on a few occasions. But as far as I would believe, it was predominantly the carbon copy or the negative copy of the blue
Is
in
it
the main.
black stripes though? Yeah, rather than blue. Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause the only thing to say is that the club tweeted out, I'll read it what they say, about the away kit. Hopefully bringing news in the middle of next week. All we'll say at this stage, it's completely different from anything we've ever worn. So,
Ever.
but I mean that rules out red, that rules out white, that rules out orange, that rules out red and black stripes.
Burgundy
that
and
rules
green.
out.
So we did have a yellow away kit for quite a while in the 70s, didn't
Yellow?
we? Which was kind of a darker yellow than the budgie yellow. Would you be
Black.
supportive of that?
What,
Yeah,
like-
black we've done.
We've done black.
Is it going to be salmon pink?
Oh, we haven't had
It's-
pink
yeah.
one, have we?
It's going to be one of those proper garish. Yeah.
A rainbow kit for Pride.
So we don't think a rainbow one. Yeah, did you see that rainbow one that I think a kid designed during COVID for
Pescara,
charity?
isn't it? Yeah.
That's good.
Or Black Lives Matter.
All blackout
Vest.
shirt. Maybe.
Yeah, it could be
Sorry, am I missing the
anything.
joke?
We're going to have hilarious. Sorry, there'll be luminous steward coloured, and we'll have hilarious occasions where Cole Skews is turning to his left and passing it to the guy who's wandering down the touchline.
On the back of the head. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So we don't think it'll be UEFA Cup themed.
I think it's going to either be pink or sort of like hooped or striped, if that makes sense. Because other than the red and black 92 kit, we've never really had a proper striped kit, have we? Home or away. Oh, and literally the one I'm wearing this second. But
don't worry, Jay. That's my job.
But other than these two, we don't really have striped kits, do we? Or
No.
and I can't remember ever having a hooped kit. I know we had the red band at sort of in the mid '80s, but
Yeah, the red and black stripe, the collar.
Shall we do some questions, guys? Let me questions or observations or thoughts. I've alluded to a couple of these, so I'm gonna start with this one. So this is from Ipswich John. Love the kit, especially the badge. The video would have been better with no mention of the current players. He says it's laughable they're mentioned in the same breath. That Vincent Young is the only player to be seen to be technically good enough to be mentioned alongside Muir, and exemplifies this. So that chimes to your point, Craig. Craig, your thoughts on, although I know I'm bothered by the lack of an apostrophe on the Carers Trust sponsor. Are you like me? Is this something that you can now you can't unsee?
Not see,
It's going to drive you crazy because it's starting to annoy me a little bit.
Yeah, but do they themselves use an apostrophe on their website and bits and pieces like that?
But
No, exactly.
That's not the point.
Well, no. Eat shoots and leaves.
I need to I'm going to do a bit of a Google on it. Your thoughts on the video, and whether you would have. You suggested before you might not have gone down that route, or
no, I don't think I would have mentioned. Well, to be fair, at the beginning, I think they mentioned 3 players from the 80-81 season, and then at the end they mentioned Wolfenden, Downs, and forgive me, I can't think. Oh, Holy, I think is the last 3 they mentioned. I think if they'd sort of mentioned the 81 team and then had a nod towards the current team, as someone else has mentioned, you may come across it. At the end of the day, we're sitting mid-table in the 3rd division, so it does seem a little bit rich to be interspersed their names.
Our best ever team and our worst ever team.
Yeah, it is.
Look how far we've fallen.
Exactly right. So the Carers Trust website does not have an apostrophe in it because it's not a trust of carers, it's a trust for carers, if that makes sense. With and about, I think, is how they get around that one. So we're accurate to how the charity themselves refer to themselves, so we'll stick with that. But that's one for the OCD amongst you. to try and get the Tipex out, maybe. Ginger Eagle 73, Joe, like the old badge, blue shorts as a temporary measure, and the removal of the stars. Don't like the writing under the badge, and think they should have continued the 3 stripes all the way. Someone else, I think, has mentioned the writing under the badge. The fact it says, Mikey actually says, UEFA Cup 40 is underneath. Why haven't they kind of said winners or something like that? Which, because unlike our friends up the road who are participants and stuff, this is a trophy we've actually won. Is that something that concerns you at all?
I must admit, when I read it, I did think UEFA Cup 40 years just strikes me as almost incomplete on there. But I'm not too worried about it. You can't make it too wordy, can you? And you need to get in the fact that you're UEFA Cup winners, that it's a 40th anniversary. All of a sudden, you've got War and Peace written down your chest. If you
maybe loop it all the way around the badge in a circle or something.
Yeah, so that's how I'm not. Yeah, I'm not too worried by that personally.
Jason has actually messaged us, so I don't think it's a question. But
it's
Jason,
just celebration.
Yeah, for me, it's a relief following years of tireless campaigning to remove the red, albeit temporarily, Jason. The blue is authentic and the badge perfection. I dropped the fade in the line between Carers Trust and continue the 3 stripes to the end of the sleeve, but all said and done, it's great. The on the short sleeve version, the stripes don't go all the way down, do they, Craig?
They finish on the shoulder, don't they?
Is that how it worked?
Yes.
How the original worked?
Hold on, let me just refer. Well, Mick had his all the way down to his cuff.
Okay.
No.
And also, what I noticed is that cuff doesn't go all the way around the arm either. It stops halfway. It's like a semi cuff.
Yeah, but now you have like sponsors badges on your arms where you didn't then, did you? So
yeah.
you couldn't have a badge over
Tetris
stripes.
red on there, haven't we?
Mullet's given us a suggestion for the away kit: fluorescent yellow with black sleeves, the Bumblebee look.
The Paul Lambert Dortmund look, isn't it?
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense.
Why would we have Dortmund? What's that got to do with Paul Lambert?
I think he went on holiday with it once.
Not sure. Phil Jolly, I really like the kit. Using the old badge is a bit backward looking for him. He prefers the current badge. This, I guess we've alluded to it in your point before, Craig, that we've got more to be happy about looking backwards than we do at the forwards at the moment, which is a depressing state of affairs. It doesn't mean, though, that we shouldn't be looking back with fondness of big moments in our history.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think, if we're going to celebrate the anniversary, then you celebrate the anniversary, all in, if you like, or as much as you can, all in on a current shirt. So I think you had to have the old badge on it. Otherwise, you'd have sort of a half-assed attempt of, having a new badge on the old shirt, and I think that'd create more issues more discussion, should we say, than currently. I've got no issues with it. If it's a one-off and it's just to highlight that fact, then yeah, I'm all for it.
Seabass Speakers has said he feels it's a bit of a lazy design. I guess back in the day the designs were a little bit more laid back and simple than maybe they are now with all this kind of fades and stuff.
They were lazier back in the day because there was no real design.
I guess there wasn't. You can't.
Just a plain blue shirt.
You can't print stuff, can you? Apart from maybe stick some piping down it. But Joe, he suggested it looks a bit like the 17-18 kit. You've got that one, haven't you? That had kind of faded bands of blue across it, didn't it? But it's not too dissimilar, is it?
No, I don't think it particularly looks like that one. Just because there's no detail or design on the front of it. It is just plain blue. That is it. It's
got some red in it.
Which is better, isn't it?
Did it have some red trim on it, that shirt? I'm trying to remember now.
No. I think it did. It have the stripes underneath the arms, maybe.
Right.
I can't remember, but I think it just had a bit more detail in the fabric type across it.
Yeah.
It's a shame we don't have a collar on this one, but then we didn't in 80-81.
Seabass Speak is hoping for gutsier design with the away kit. So if Mullet's to be believed, then maybe that is. FPI Tractor, we talked about the blue shorts, I think. So hopefully that's answered your question. Ludacris, London Tractor Boy, love the kit, love the blue shorts, love the retro badge. Still prefer the new badge with a more powerful horse. Craig, A+++ from him. So he's going to be front of the queue on the old pre-order. Shouldn't it say UEFA Cup winners instead of UEFA Cup 40 years? Yeah, we've addressed that one as well. Your thoughts on the horse? Is the just because?
I must admit, the anatomy of a Suffolk Punch horse isn't one of my strong points, to be honest. But was it more muscular on the? Is it more muscular on the?
I guess
more recent.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know. I'm looking at Joe's and the one on your shirt back there, but it's an interesting observation nonetheless. All opinions welcome. It's all about opinions, guys. Gary Slade, big fan of the throwback badge. Really should have left the video as an anniversary celebration there. We've mentioned that. Leaksy, I think the video will be easy fodder for any fans looking to take a dig, presumably from not Ipswich fans. Nice kit, nice idea. Kit though, not sure about the voiceover. Footage says it all. Flashes of that and the kit. But chuff the old badge is back. Keep it. Hashtag keep the old badge. I think Leaksy and Jason will be starting the campaign, won't they, guys, for keeping that one. Jack Bear, let's end with this one. All about opinions, as I say. Best looking kit ever? Question mark. It's a bit of a stretch, isn't it, guys? I haven't given my opinions. I'm going to say I'm a little bit underwhelmed. But maybe that's because I quite like gimmicky things. But to me, it's kind of more of a 6 or a 7 out of 10. It's a good kit rather than a great kit. And I think possibly the symbolism of the kit is more significant than the shirt itself, if that makes sense.
It's hard to know for best shirt because I think you need to see the players in action in the shirt as well before you can decide whether it's a good kit or not. And generally, you need a successful season as well for a kit to be seen as a success as well.
Yeah, I think that's important, Craig, because the best kits that I can recall are the ones where we've, the Punch one from 99-2000 is always up there because that was the Premier League one. That's always does quite well in polls. And the 14-15 one generally happened to coincide with a good season.
Yeah, I must admit my favourite is still the laces, the collar and the laces, the first Premier League.
Oh,
Yeah,
too.
that's my favourite one, 92,
Still my
94.
Are we in consensus?
We'll call it the Witten, shall we?
We can call it the Win if you want. I'll call it the Kiwambia. But yeah,
I'm just thinking. So in 2 years' time, we'll have the 30-year anniversary of the 91-92 promotion shirt, then, won't we?
Well, next year that'll be, won't it?
No.
What year are we in now?
Yeah,
91.
yeah.
91-92. Yeah. No, it's
Next season.
no, year after next year.
Yeah.
The forgotten promotion.
Yes,
you go.
quite. So we'll have the video. Yeah, Zondervan, Nolan, Witten.
There you go. Love that. That's all the questions, guys. That's all I have. I've got a few plugs and bits and pieces. Any last words on the kit stuff, or any last thoughts on the or any suggestions on where people might be able to get more information as to frame their shirts or anything like that? Joe, anything for sale?
Vivarti, it's called.
Oh, Vivarti's
No, I like to keep all my kits, but I am in the process of bagging them all up to store them neatly.
Okay, cold storage, love it. Where can we find you guys on Twitter, Craig? I've briefly mentioned it before, but where are you on Twitter?
Yeah, I'm at Fims75.
And Joe?
At Joe Fairs.
And you can find our account, our Blue Monday account at Blue Monday ITFC. You can find me at Ipswich. We've got a few bits and pieces coming up. You can still find all of our summer lockdown kind of interviews with Matt Holland, Jim McGill, and Pablo. I think
Tommy Miller.
There are others, I think, in the pipeline as well. So we'll always have plenty of that kind of stuff. Should we keep this to just kit stuff rather than speculating about when League One might restart and all that jazz? We'll leave that for other stuff. There's an end of season review pod already been released with Ben, Dave, and Joe. That's part 1. Part 2 is coming out soon. Craig, you're with Mikey and Stat.
That's it. Yeah. Joe and the guys have handed over the season in good shape, so we're just looking to carry that momentum and not call off any games unnecessarily and just keep it going, really.
Yeah, and don't do anything stupid like awarding extensions to contracts without any just cause and all that stuff. And I'll be back with part 3. We'll have Seb on that, and we've also got Graham, Naked Footy Graham Blackburn, joining us as well, a special guest to finish the season off. I'm sure it will be from success to success on those 2 parts. Other thing to plug as well, if you're listening to, I've just had the Ipswich Town email introducing Ipswich Town 2021 kit. Brilliant. Already dealt with it, completed it, mate. Just a shout out to the folks who have donated to us. There it is. That's it. I will. Yeah, I'll have put in pictures whilst we're talking about it as well. So the modern technology, I'll get that sorted. Just a shout out to Jude, to Tugsy, to Ed Hawker, to Will Airy, and to DJ and some anonymous folks who have kindly donated through our Acast donation platform. If you were listening on the pod, you would have heard, I think, either an advert or an explanation as to how that works. So if you're keen to support us, as we say, we're not changing to a subscription platform. It will still be free to download, free to watch. But if you want to donate and support us in making the pod even better, then that service is available to you. And thanks to the guys who've done that. And that's it, guys. Should we come back and talk about the away shirt, or do we not care? I guess it depends how garish and crazy and first time it is in our history we've ever worn rainbow or pink or whatever. Do you fancy it? Should we maybe play it by ear?
See what the reaction is to this pod. I'm always happy to talk about it, but it might not garner any listeners.
In which case, we'll end on that note. If you want to hear about our reaction to the away shirt, reply to the pod tweet and give us a thumbs up or a hashtag. I want to hear what Joe and Craig have to say about the away shirt. That's a nice pithy hashtag that we can go searching for.
Get it trending like poor old Luke Garbutt is today.
Garbutt, yes. Is that because Carlo didn't know who he was?
Not a clue. He didn't even try and hide it. Didn't even try and hide it either.
Well, he was never going to end up there anyway. So poor old Luke Garbutt. But you can join. I'm sure Carlo Ancelotti doesn't know who either of us are either. So he's no different to any other human being. Guys, I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for your contribution.
Just quickly.
Go on, Joe.
This was my greatest Ipswich team. They were the perfect jigsaw.